Divorce is something that affects roughly 38% of all marriages in America.
Conservative Christians are being taken to task over studies that indicate their divorce rate is close to 43%.
A leading Southern Baptist calls it a credibility crisis. News 13's Frank Kracher joins us with our special report, Divorce Dilemma.
Albert Mohler is president of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, who says divorce is the scandal of evangelical conscience, that it harms more lives than homosexual marriage. There are mixed reactions from what's becoming a much more diverse religion, Christianity.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
The Reverend Ralph Saxton, pastor at Trinity Baptist Church, reads from the Old Testament, the book of Genesis.
I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.
Father Todd Donatelli, dean at Cathedral of All Souls, reads from the New Testament, the Gospel of John. Two Christian ministers, old school, new school.
Divorce is always has elements of tragic in it.
I think it's an issue in any church, in any congregation.
They agree there is more to divorce among all Christians than trying to interpret numbers.
I'm not surprised by any of the surveys about, divorce statistics among different regions of the country or different faith groups.
We have more people from other cities and states that have moved into the Bible Belt, the South. So that is changing the societal dynamics.
The word divorce is not in our vocabulary.
Larry and Ruthie Spears are members of Trinity Baptist and describe themselves as born again. They're married now 15 years with 4 children from previous marriages. They believe this is the one.
I think probably the main thing that makes it work is we both love the Lord, but we're human too, and we have the same kind of deals that everybody else does, but we just determined to work through them.
Religion is a practice. You go every week. You listen to the words.
Monroe Moore and Lupe Perez are All Souls parishioners, together for 24 years.
You practice living those words each week, and marriage is very similar, that it's a practice, and I make mistakes.
Things were very different then.
They have issues like any couple, any family, all the demands of raising 3 children. They add the cultural challenge of same-sex marriage. They say they share hope for all relationships.
That marriage is redefined for everyone and is made stronger. That divorce is not necessarily an option that's at the forefront to grow and strengthen their love of each other and of their family, regardless of how that family looks.
My relationship with the Lord is very personal. So I would say that theirs, that's between them and the Lord.
We may have some differences at times about whose relationships we would bless. We certainly share that we want our families, our couples, our children to find the kind of courage and forgiveness and fidelity that we believe is found in the very heart of God.
I think you have pulled the cover back over something that's not just about divorce and marriage and evangelicals and liberal churches. I think it's a problem for our whole culture, our whole society.
Here's some numbers that cannot be disputed that apply to everyone. Married adults divorce 2.5 times more than 20 years ago, 4 times as often as 50 years ago. And if that trend continues, between 40 and 50% of new marriages will eventually end in divorce.